Labour MP Naz Shah turns on Kim Leadbeater's fundamentally flawed assisted dying bill. I'm going to read into this exclusive from The Independent, you guys. Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Reganelite here with an exclusive from The Independent with the headline of the Labour MP Naz Shah turns on Kim Leadbeater's fundamentally flawed assisting dying bill. The exclusive reveals that Naz Shah explains why, after previously supporting the bill, she now believes it is fundamentally flawed. Guys, while you're here, make sure you hit the like button and share this across social media so others are notified of this video. So, I've read this already, and I'm going to have to, before April the 25th, read the bill again, before it goes to another reading, is when the next date is on this, because based on what I've read here, I'm very concerned. I'm very concerned about some of the changes to some of the safeguards that were originally kept in place. So I always said to you guys that as long as the assisting dying bill has strong safeguards, it will be perfectly fine. That's what I said. Had the strongest safeguards possible. It seems that one or two of them have been changed, and that worries me greatly. It does, based on what I've read here, it does feel like it's a bit more weaker. Now, like I said, I haven't read an updated version of the bill, so I am going to wait to see a bit closer before April the 25th. Why April the 25th? There's supposed to be a vote in the committee on it, which is onto more changes. I'm not happy that one of the things that I've mentioned about the goodness in the bill is being changed. The most important thing is there are the strongest safeguards needed to protect people from the assisting dying bill, and it needed to be strong. So but I have to be clear here with everyone who's watching. I'm basing this on this article in particular, so I will say do take a little bit of a pinch of salt until I read an updated version of the bill based on the amendments that have come through. I'm not able to make an honest and conscious conclusion. However, if what I'm reading from this piece is true, it definitely raises questions about whether or not this bill is going to about this bill. And I think, to be fair, a lot of us felt that this bill, because it's a private member's bill, many people felt it wasn't going to pass anyway. But the majority of the public do want an assisting dying bill. I'm sure some of you in the comments believe that there should be a way to be done it with the most strongest and stringent of safeguards. And I totally accept the concerns and the concerns and aspects around it. However, if this bill has been weakened, the safeguards have been weakened, then this bill deserves to get killed, because there needs to be we have to make it, I hate to use this analogy, but basically, for those who are on entitlements and the hoops that you have to go through to get those entitlements, that is exactly what it should be for this. It should be difficult for people to be able to get assisted dying. It should be difficult to get it because you have to go through not only have certain levels you need to be on in order to process it, but also you got to jump through some hoops before you can actually have it. That is what it should be. It should not be made too smoothly in any way, shape or form. This should be extremely difficult for you to get the assisting dying bill, and there has to be certain circumstances and cases for you to be able to apply for assisting dying, hence if it becomes law, of course. But let's read into this story, guys. So, a Labour MP who had originally been inclined to vote in favour of Kim Leadbeater's assisted dying legislation has claimed that the bill now has weaker safeguards than when the MP voted on it in September. So Naz Shah spoke to The Independent in the wake of the laborious and, at times, tetchy committee stages at the controversial bill being completed in Parliament last Wednesday. So the Bradford West MP, who serves on the committee scrutinises the bill, had hoped that safeguards would be strengthened to make it workable, but now claims the legislation is fundamentally flawed. And it comes as data shows that 393 amendments were put forward by MPs who opposed the bill at its second reading. Of these, 330 were rejected by the committee. 31 were withdrawn before going to a vote, and another 32 were accepted. Okay, so they 393 amendments. That's a lot of amendments. That's quite a huge amount rejected there, and only 32 were accepted. Interesting. Very, very interesting. So Ms Leadbeater, the bill's sponsor, who gave a detailed interview to The Independent in February, wrote to MPs last week pointing out the changes and the number of amendments accepted from both sides of the debate. In her email, she points out that the 32 amendments from MPs were accepted and held her new voluntary assisting dying commission chaired by a judge or retired judge for strengthening the process. Voluntary. Why is it voluntary? Why is this voluntary now? She noted that a survey taken before the vote in November saw 79% of the public in favour of assisting dying. She said, I hope whatever our views on the bill itself, we shared the commitment to ensuring that if it does become law, it should contain the best protections and safeguards, and this amendment helps achieve that. But Ms Shah said she is very disappointed, disheartened with the direction taken after hopes they could ensure the safeguards were robust. She revealed that Kim Leadbeater is a friend, but when she first told me about the bill, I was inclined to vote for it. But the more I looked at the details, the more concerned I had. Among these were concerns over the way people who suffer from domestic abuse and have disabilities that could potentially be coerced into ending their lives early. As someone who has suffered previously from domestic abuse in a forced marriage, these issues were important to her. Ms Shah also made headlines during the process when she was forced to leave a session because of her hearing aid battery had run flat. An attempt to push through an amendment had seen the session extended, despite pleas from Ms Shah that she could not take part. I mean, like, everyone, like, here's the thing, like, I just want to, like, this here, like, these things happen, but they can't just hold up just because you're not there. These things happen. Like, these things happen. If you're not there for it, you're not there for it. I know it's not her fault and she wanted to be there. She ended up... she was there for it. She ended up voting against the bill at the second reading, but went into committee stage with a view of wanting to make it work. She said, I went into it open-minded. If we could get the safeguards right, then I'd be happy to support it. But as MPs prepare for the showdown, the final stages on the 25th of April, Ms Shah says she feels disheartened about it. She says, I feel a bit disheartened because I feel like I've put a lot of work into this. Because I went in to try and make this bill better. And actually, I've come out, and now the bill is now weaker than it was when we first went in. In particular, she highlights Ms Leadbeater's amendment to remove the safeguards of having a High Court judge rule on whether a request for assisted death should go ahead. This was replaced by an expert panel or voluntary assisting dying commission. This is the thing that's really getting me right now. The voluntary. Why? What is this voluntary? Like, do they still have to go through something here or not? Like, this really, I want to know why is this word here, voluntary? Like, this should just, the term voluntary shouldn't be here. They should be put through something. I don't like that this word is here. I don't like this at all. Like I said, I haven't read the updated bill, guys. I want to just stress that. But it's fundamentally changed everything. Generally, it's like the courts. There's no judicial oversight. The idea that it's judge-led now is just, it's a story for the birds. It's really because it's not judge-led. You've got a judge who's going to be a commissioner, and there's no oversight on that commissioner now, because you've taken the commissioner, you've taken the oversight from the actual chief medical officer. It actually weakens the bill. She has also backed attempts to toughen up the bill by ensuring eating disorders such as anxiety could not be given as reasons for assisting dying. I talk about it a lot with anxiety stuff, and it's a weakening. The amendment that Kim Leadbeater put in the capacity bit has actually weakened the bill, not strengthened the bill. There's been issues that children are now exposed, that doctors can have this assisted death conversation with children. You know, there's fundamentally flaws in this bill. I just feel disheartened that I've gone in trying to help fix it, and I've actually come out, not my fault, but, you know, it's weakened. Why are we having conversations with children? This should not be a conversation with children. Why are there conversations with children? This isn't. Yes, I know some people will point out to me in the chat. Yes, there are some children who very, 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 very few children are in this situation. Children should not be on the topic of discussion with this. This should be regarding strictly adults. Okay, you can have another bill with regards to children on this, but children should not be in this conversation. This should be strictly adults, in my opinion. There should be no conversations with children on this subject. None. Should not be putting that idea in children's heads in any way, shape, or form. Opponents of the bill have claimed that 23 of the 32 of their amendments accepted were tidying up measures and not significant, while just 7 were meaningful. Ms. Shah said, "I mean, there's no big fundamental ones." Like I said, I need to read the updated bill, and I will do at some point. But the part that she says about the voluntary, that really worries me. That's very, very concerning indeed. Like I said before, like I said, I was very much in favour of this bill. But if the safeguards are weaker, then I'm against it, because like originally the originality was you need to get approved by 2 independent doctors and then approved by a High Court judge. You had to be actually terminally dying as well, in order to have this as well. So not only did you have to be actually dying, you're actually terminally ill, and you cannot be saved. You had to be checked, verified by 2 independent doctors. You then had to go for a High Court judge, which they've taken away. This is what it originally was. What do you guys honestly think? Voluntary. Are you concerned like I am about this assisted dying bill? I know there was some skepticism of people in the chat about it before, but like me, do you feel like that maybe now this needs to be killed? Let me know your thoughts and more on this down in the comment section below. If you found this video informative or helpful to you, please hit that like button, we greatly appreciate. Share it across social media so others are notified of this video. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the join button down below to financially support me in the work that I do, to become a YouTube member for as little as 99p. Do check out the Rumble and Patreon for exclusive content on those platforms as well. And thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to catch you all very, very soon.